here to get some sort of airflow that goes into the actual boot. Started on this first YouTube video. So we're gonna call this segment Bella's 101 on track. So where do you begin, right? I know that my last introduction we talked a little bit about how disastrous it was when I started my first day on the Ducati Revs site. I went there and I was trying to find out, how do I get on track? What do I do? So no one told me anything. They just said, hey, you just have to register, right? So, okay, you know, how to get started with a track day. So there are sponsors. So each one of these motorsports places that actually hosts the track days will have promoters or groups that you can actually register with in order to get your track day started. There's a track at this particular location, and then there'll be different groups or promoters that actually you can register through them for a day, 2 days, 3 days of track. So you would basically pay a fee, register for the day, and then you would start off at whether you're a novice, intermediate, or there's different groups or different types of classes that you would be in. So for me, I started off as a novice, as you guys already know. I was brand new to the game. I actually did it through a guy, through the dealership that I actually got my bike with, because I couldn't figure out how it is that I needed to get started. So one of the best ways to get started would be to research a little bit on Google for which track, you know, hosting something right in the area of it is that you want to actually go and take your bike on track. The first part of that was me basically getting the information and then going to that place and saying, okay, on Saturday the 23rd, I want to register for 2 days of track, and how much is it going to cost me, and do I need to pay anything additional? So some tracks will offer things like electricity. So if you have tire warmers and things like that, we'll get into at a later time, you may want to purchase electricity. Some places will offer it as part of the fee that you pay in order to get on track. So that's like your basic 101. So for example, Hook, so Evolve or N2 are some of the places that I register with in order to do my track. There are tracks out here in the East Coast, so in New York, New Jersey, those are the more popular ones that I am more associated with. So I went onto the website, basically look at the dates that they're trying to host certain days, and if they're not sold out and the weather looks good, you can go ahead and on the internet and you can get that information. Sometimes there's actually live promoters or people that you can call. I know that I've had questions like a certain type of insurance that they might offer for an additional cost. So if you end up, it rains out, you don't lose the money. Track days can be very, very pricey. I know that because my second year, it's like I became completely addicted and realized how expensive it could be if you're going month over month, every other week, like I was, because I just couldn't get enough. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes if you register with the place and you do like a seasonal pass, it might be more expensive in the beginning of the season, but then you can go a lot more often. Some people do that. I don't like to personally, because I like to try to just see if my schedule will work better, and then I make a decision on whether I want to go to the track. So I will use a lot of different promoters rather than just ride with one particular company or group or promotions company. Next part of being able to register, like I said before, if you have any questions, please ask them below. I'll answer them as best as I can, and if I don't have an answer to it, I will enlist in some of the groups that I deal with that are a lot more advanced on the rider side or on the track side to maybe chime in and give some answers so that you guys are properly informed during that time. Next part of that is, let's say, okay, so you're registered for it. Where do you go from there? The one thing I need to let you guys know is that you definitely are going to need to prep. There is going to be no way you're going to make this happen without the right amount of prep. Meaning you need the right gear, helmet, you need the right footwear, gear for protection, gloves, Gauntlet gloves are typically what are required on most tracks, if not all tracks. I know the ones that I'm speaking of are necessary. You will go through inspection checks and stuff like that on your gear to make sure that it's safe, and we'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to let you know that that is your ultimate basic. When I first started on track, the first thing I did was, besides my helmet, it needs to be, this one is Schnell rated, or my other show is Schnell rated, so that it's suitable for track. There are street riding helmets you can get that are extremely inexpensive, but the crash protection is what you really need when you're actually on track. So what you definitely want to do is make sure that whatever helmet it is that either you have or you want to purchase, you can take it on track, and it's definitely something that's going to be safe. If God forbid you have an impact, you'll walk away with your face and your head intact. The second part of what I would think would be the best option would be for you to look into your tracksuits. So tracksuits, and I'm going to show you some videos of my tracksuit, but a tracksuit is going to give you the ultimate protection. It weighs a ton. So if any of you have not been on track before and just wears like an armored jacket and maybe some armored boots and some jeans, yeah, the tracksuit is going to be pretty heavy. One of the biggest challenges around my first tracksuit and the helmet and the gauntlet gloves and the boots that I wore, I felt completely stifled. And coming from street riding and doing local rides, you know, with a light gear jacket for the summer, or, you know, maybe not armored boots, but just like moto sneakers and stuff, it's a completely different animal. So if you've never worn it before, the tracksuit is going to be a whole nother video on what to look forward to, what to get, what different fits there are, and things like that. But I will let you know, they are pretty pricey. You can get things on sale off peak season, like right now. It's winter here, so there are a lot of closeouts and a lot of deals. Sometimes I go shopping you know, during that time just to make it more affordable for me, but you can do whatever makes you happy. So you have to measure yourself. The suits go anywhere from like a standard fit with, you know, X amount of sizes to custom suits, which I'm looking to try to do because, you know, as a woman and having curves in different areas, places like Dionysi and stuff like that, which they make remarkable suits, may not fit me in the hip, might be too long, I'm short, so you got to do your research. One of the really good reputable companies that I usually purchase my stuff from, and I use others as well, is Revzilla. Revzilla became my best friend when I was learning about track and what was, you know, they have those great videos that you can actually click on and look at it and see if it's something that you want to have and stuff like that. There are boots, there are new suits now that don't get tucked into the boot, but it actually goes on the outside. So there's a lot of things that you should research. Watch the videos and stuff like that, but I will be going through my entire suit and how it fits, what it has, how, you know, I work it in with the rest of the stuff that I have, and like how that works out for me on track. So your suit would be your next thing. In addition to that, now you need gloves. Obviously, hand protection is hugely important. When you take a nosedive off the bike like I did and you go sliding into first base, my gloves, thank God, I walked away without a scratch. So I went down on my hands, I went sliding into first, and then basically got myself up off the ground and really didn't have a scratch on it. But some of these great gloves, they go anywhere from the lower end to the high end. They have a lot of protection in the wrist or on the knuckle. You know, a lot of great options for you, and like I said, we will go through accessory specific stuff that I have that I can show you, and things that I have seen that I know I want. In addition to that, you're going to need some boots. So not talking just rider boots, ankle boots. You need boots that are going to cover your shins, that are going to give you the protection, that have, some of them have sliders on the front right side of it. I will show you that stuff as well. Those boots are really going to help you stay protected if you ever have an impact, if you fall, if you slide, if you go down. You know, you just want, every part of you has to be covered up. Your suit is going to typically need to be connected from neck all the way down to your ankles. Meaning, you cannot wear a two-piece suit that is not able to be zipped up around the waist area in order for you to connect it. Because on an impact, on a slide, you're gonna go flying and you don't want the back to basically lift up, and then next thing you know, your back is all road rashed. you should be covered from neck all the way down. Your helmet should be a crash helmet, and your gloves should be going all the way up your suit so that you don't have anything exposed. They will typically not let you on track if that's the case, and you're not getting away with anything. So don't waste your time trying to get away with anything, because the right type of motorsports park and promotions company that does the check, they're not going to let you on track, because it's for your safety that this is going to be the way it should be. So, those are the most basic, and when I say basic, I mean basic things. There's 100 other things, but if you're going to get started, you want to start doing your research. You want to find out what tracks there are near you, what suit it is that you might want to wear. You need gloves, you need a special type of helmet, and you want to make sure that you have your boots. It changes your mindset, especially as fast as you might be going or slow, or if you have an impact or a crash, and when you walk away from those things, for me, was a huge eye-opener into, like what to do differently moving forward. You need to have the right gear, so you want to make sure that you know what ratings that your particular gear needs to have, what type of armor it needs to have. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to introduce the current suit that I use. I'll show you the suit that I fell in and what actually happened to it. Once again, if you don't follow me currently, I am Bella_biker on Instagram. Please, if you haven't met me yet over there, just come over and follow me over there and ask me some questions. And also, subscribe to my channel, because of course it helps me out. So I'll go down my list of things that we need to discuss together so we can get you ready for track. All right? So keep it positive, keep it safe, ride safe. Thanks a lot.